You are listening to the national radio broadcast of Messenger Elijah Muhammad Propagation Society. Your principal speaker is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad is the preacher of freedom, justice, and equality for the American so-called Negroes. And now, we have the pleasure of presenting to you the last messenger of Allah, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Amin, to whom be praise forever, for his coming, bringing to you and me today the truth that has been hid from the nation of the earth for the past 6,000 years. To him I submit, and to him do I seek refuge from the evil of this evil world and from the evil plannings of my enemies against me and my followers, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad in 1930, July the 4th, to seek and save that which was lost of the members of the black nation, who had been away from our own now for near 400 years at the time of his appearance. To you and me, we should shout for joy and sing praises to him today, who has brought to you and I the knowledge of self and others, and the knowledge of God and of the devil. This is salvation within itself, the removal of fear and grief from us, which also is salvation alone. To him we should give praises, and to him should we submit, and to him we should seek refuge in. For he alone is God, and besides him there is no other God. The great promised one that would come at the end of the world, of the evildoers. I thank him. We have been looking for such one to bring to us this truth and to reveal it to the world. And the reason why it has been kept back from the ears and hearts of the people of the past 6,000 years is due to the fact that God desired to try Satan at ruling the people. We say, try evil at ruling good. So evil's time of ruling the good is now up. And we are certainly glad, because we have plenty, I say plenty of experience at under the rule of evil. So that now today we are coming into the knowledge of that valuable hidden truth that the scholars and scientists have been searching for ever since the creation of this world, the Caucasian race, 6,000 years ago. Today I give praise and honor and thanks to Almighty God Allah, and I will forever do so as long as I live, for revealing the truth to me and my people, the poor lost found members of our nation, who have been here in the Western Hemisphere for the past 400 years. For the past 400 years, we have been robbed completely of the knowledge of self by the white slave masters. And today the so-called Negroes are considered as mentally dead people, and was prophesied as being such by the prophets of old, as we find there prophesied of us, written in the Bible and in the Quran, as the dead that must be resurrected to receive a just judgment. As the revelation of the Bible gives it, that it is the time of the dead, that they should be given, rewarded rather, according to them, or they should be judged according to justice. The real meanings of the text there. That the dead should be raised into the knowledge of truth so that they can be judged according to their works. This is due to being deprived of the knowledge of self and others, that we became mentally dead. Yes, we became mentally dead, and having no knowledge of self and others, therefore we were a prey in the hands of civilized people of the earth. It is a great sin on the part of the white race to have robbed and spoiled us of the knowledge of self and the knowledge of others, and the knowledge of God and the devil. And today we see the evils of the life of this great knowledge that we have been deprived of all the robberies of a human being. You can rob him of all his wealth, gold and silver and fine precious stones, and even rob him of his home and shelter, and rob him of his clothes that covers his body. But no robbery is as bad and as ugly, as shameful, and as evil as it is to be robbed of the knowledge of self. This lack of knowledge is like taking the physical eye out of the socket of the head and then altering the brains in such way that the person cannot think singly, and then deprive him of his language. The physical handicap makes it impossible for one to be the equal of civilized society of nations. It builds a wall between the association with civilized people who have eyes, and people who can think singly and speak their own language. The same applies for one who has been robbed spiritually of the spiritual eye and the spiritual ear and the spiritual heart. This robbery has gone on with the white man over the black slave man, all of the black slave's life, up to the very minute that I'm speaking. We are referred to in the Bible and Holy Quran as being dead. Not really physical dead, but mentally dead, spiritually dead. As we look at the struggle of the American so-called Negro, the lost found black members of the black nation of Asia and Africa, we see they are struggling, that they are struggling against odds to try to get their slave masters, children, to recognize and accept them who are the once slaves as the white man's equal, and to permit them to be the members of their society. And greatest and foremost of all, my why mentally dead people wish to intermarry with this vicious enemy of theirs, their slave makers and the murderers of their people. With this slave master's children they wish to intermarry, who are the very children of the merciless slave master who slaughtered our fathers and mothers in such way that we today are still being pained from their souls. We have before our eyes today a very sordid picture of the actions of our people in trying to emerge or absorb themselves into the slave master's blood and flesh. This is one of the most ugly and most shameful, most ignorant action on the part of the so-called American Negroes to even entertain the foolish and ignorant idea of intermarrying with their own once slave masters and their open enemy who are fighting against them from becoming even into the absolutely joy of being a free person, a free human being in the world of human beings. This is very shameful indeed. How can a slave who is subjected to the evils of his master, kicked and beat and shot down at will and lynched and called all kinds of evil and ugly names, want now in return to make love with such people and even want them to marry them and take them for their members of their own society and members of the family? Who ever heard tell of such ignorant people? It does not look proper that the intelligence of the so-called Negroes, lost and found members of the black nation, to want to intermix with the very people who destroyed the morals and the knowledge of their fathers and mothers for 400 long years, and who have subjected them to all kinds of evils and filth, so that today no nation wants them for their equal. There is none who wants us in such ignorant state of condition to be in their society or in their country among them unless they we rather become Muslims. This great struggle, as it continues to progress for white people to look at, honor, and respect us, they want slaves whose only enjoying today what some call a second-hand citizenship, but actually they are only respected by the man as yet being a free slave or in the status of a free slave. It is very ugly, shameful for this thing to be happening to us, or rather for us to live under such conditions. To us, the civilized society of the intelligent nation of the earth, to laugh and make mock being the most ignorant of all people of the earth, who claim now to have a certain degree of education of the white slave masters, to be showing love for this race of people to the extent that they, my people, intermarry with them and want to forget their own racial pride. If there is any destroying for the love of their open enemy, who are kicking them around in the public today as they would an animal, and respecting them as they respect a dog and even less. This stands true, and you educators know this to be true. This situation is due mostly to the ignorancy of the knowledge of the so-called Negro of South and his kind and the slave masters and the slave masters' children, who have subjected them to the lowest degree of a human being. The thing that the so-called American Negroes should do is the thing that they will not do because of their love for the white race. This is on the part of the leadership of the so-called Negroes, educators, teachers, politicians, and religious leaders and teachers, or whatever you may be. These people should get together, confer over the best way to unshackle their people from the hand and power of the slave master's children. And whosoever has the best solution of our people's problem, we should agree and then put it to force and carry it into practice. Work for it, fight for it, die for it, and we will soon be respected not only by our people in Asia and Africa, but the very children of our oppressors. They will recognize and respect you and me as human beings if we act like human beings and not like a silly, blind, deaf, and dumb animal that want to be equal members in the society of the nations of the earth. This is better than to be going around preaching integration and intermarriage between the two races who are different even by nature and color. But the so-called American Negroes, since he has heard about the coming of Allah and the truth that he has revealed, is afraid of losing what he thinks is friendship between he and his slave master's children, which there is no friendship existing, only on the side of the so-called Negro. He sends a friend for his enemies. He will fight and die and shed his blood all over the earth for the independence of his enemies, but will not shed one drop of blood to try to obtain freedom, justice, and equality for himself and his poor brother in the mud of civilization here in America. The false friendship that is shown by the white man to unite as men and women like other nations to seek the best way out for the future, or salvation of our people. For many years I have begged them to consider, and in a conference to get together, pardon me, to consider and having a conference together on what Allah has revealed to me of the truth. The truth that we might come to some final agreement to work together for the one and same common cause, to elevate our people into the knowledge of self and others, have and create the unity of purpose, that we may be able to acquire some of this earth that we can call our own for our 22 or more million people here. Here today we read and hear how strong the white man opposes intermarriage between his race and the American slave of his. I'm now referring to the Georgia case of the black woman, Miss Hunter, and the Caucasian enemy of ours, Walter Stovall. The white man of Georgia University, who has had the freedom to come in and out of the Negro's home and live with whatever black woman he wants. It does not matter if the black woman is single or married. This makes absolutely no difference in the Georgia white man. And to think over this alone is enough to make our blood boil to the degree of 212. Even in other states, when it comes to disgracing the so-called Negro families, the white man cares not. This he does with joy to disgrace the black so-called Negroes and then laugh at them and then shoot them down at the least provocation. For centuries now, this has been going on, and the little half-white sons and daughters of the white man have been left behind in our families to look after like spots on a leopard's back. One child is of one color and the other of another color, though they both were born of the same parent, mother. And they both is now brothers and sisters, but one is of a white color and the other one is black or brown. But one is of one father, thank you, and the other is by another father. But this woman has delighted herself, or this girl, in producing such families from a variety of males. This is the disgrace that our nation has suffered and still suffers today, and with the foolish idea now of wanting to go marry the murderer and the absolutely deceiver of the nations of the earth is beyond absolutely any degree of sane thinkings of the so-called American Negro. It puts him into the position to be called an insane people. I'm sorry that we have to call you that, but it is true. But here we see there are even some of our people who think it is an act of honor to look upon their ugly, disgraceful, spotted family. With this thought in her little ignorant heart, the mother, that the public, and especially the members of her ignorant people, like herself, should think that she was really a prided woman to have gotten into the relationship out of her race with her father and her self and husband, open enemy, and the disgrace of her nation that she has brought upon them, who are the murderers of her sons and daughters. This slave master's sons and daughters are our sons and daughters, murderers and disgracers. Even though they may be of his blood, the children that he has gotten of this foolish black woman, he will still lynch and kill that same son and daughter that he has gotten by her if that same son or daughter tries to enter into his family through marriage, as we see all of this today, as the case is now in Georgia. I put this blame on our nation's leadership, being disgraced by the white race upon our people. The whole entire blame now should be placed upon the head of the leadership of our people, because they can unite together and put a stop to it. That is, if they have any intelligent sense or have any common sense or love for their own people, and especially the preachers of the church and the politicians of our people, the professional class and the educators who actually are to blame, who are the chief seekers and teachers of such evil, of intermixing the blood of their own race to destroy them from being a people. To permit such disgrace upon their own nation of intermixing and intermarrying, we see it is absolutely the ignorancy of the leadership. I would love that they and myself get down at the table and agree upon reforming our people and making them a more respected people in the eyes of the civilized world, as I say unto you in the Arab language, which means peace. As-salamu alaykum.
For more information on the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you may contact us on the World Wide Web at www.memps.com. That's www.memps.com. Or you may call for a free catalog at area code 770-907-2212. Thank you very much for your support, and may the peace and blessings of Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, be with you in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. As-salamu alaykum.